guys, how's it going? So today we are back at my sister-in-law Alyssa's house. We've been helping her convert kind of an unused RV parking space area into a fun raised bed vegetable garden. It turned out so cute, but there was one more thing that we wanted to add to make this whole space more efficient and work even better. And that is a Hoselink retractable hose. Do you know how many Hoselinks we have?
I think it's around 20.
Oh my gosh. That's how much we love them. And so usually when we are working on a space, we love to try to add one in if we can because of how much they've been a help to us in our own garden. I mean, when you can drag a hose out real quick, water what you need to, and then just give it a light tug and have it retract on its own and not have to coil it up and all of that business, no kinks, none of that stuff. It really is a huge help. It has been kind of a game changer a little bit in our own garden space. So Hoselink has partnered with us to install this. They sent this one out and they are going to give one away to one of you guys. All you have to do is leave a comment below this video and you'll automatically be entered into the giveaway. We'll pick a winner in probably about a week's time or so. They're also offering a $10 off $75 or more with the code GARDEN 2023. We will link them down below in the description. We actually came here the other day to set the post. There's multiple ways you can install these, and I can show you more of them actually when we get back home because we're gonna do some planting. But in this case, we didn't want to attach it to her house, which you can absolutely do. But we thought that installing this post might be better. So this is a 4x6 right here. And we came with our auger. Aaron started with a 7-inch auger and made a hole. And then we decided to go with the 9-inch auger. And so we made the hole just a little bit bigger. We set the post, which actually Paul cut to size, and he stained it and then used a sealer, which Aaron has. Thank you. I forgot to bring it over here. We thought we would bring the can just to show you what he used. I've never used this before, but it's the copper green brown wood preservative. It says use wherever wood meets water or soil. Seals wood, kills termite and wood-eating insects. So there you go. So you put the Quikrete in, you add a little bit of water, that water seeps down. We brought a level with us so that we could kind of manipulate it, make sure the whole thing was level, and then we let it sit. So it's actually been sitting for several days, so it's good and sturdy. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Now they do recommend a 4x4, but I like the look of a 4x6. It just looks a little bit more substantial for the bracket. See that? I like seeing a little bit of wood on either side. If you did a 4x4, it looks kind of like this, and the bracket kind of hangs off the sides a little bit. We've done it several times. It works just as well, but I think this is a nice look. So the hose pulls out to 82 feet, and it has a standard, hook up, 3/4 inch to faucet, and then it comes with a sprayer. In fact, let me get it out of the box. So it comes with this hose and sprayer, which is also standard. So you can, swap it if you want to, but it does have a quick connect on the end. It comes with the quick connect. You know what? I think we should probably just install the whole thing. We're way better at explaining it when it's all unpacked.
A little bit to the right. Yeah. Okay.
Bracket is in, it's not going anywhere. Aaron used a 3/16 inch drill bit to make the pilot holes and then a 3/8 inch socket to get the screws to go in. There's 2 down on the bottom, 2 on the top, and of course all that stuff comes with it. And then there's also some mollies in case you're going into brick. Those come with the kit. We didn't have to use those today. And there's some cases, and like I said, I'll show you once we get back to our house, where we don't even use the bracket. We install a post or a pipe in the ground, and then we can set the Hoselink right into the pipe, and it allows the whole thing to swivel 360, which is awesome. It's not always necessary, but in some cases it's really nice to be able to pull your hose in whatever direction you want. So the rest of the installation, you guys, is just sliding this right down in like that. So see this, it can swivel either way you want it to go, which is great. And then right here, it's got quick connects on it. So, you can take these off if you want to use something different on the end. But these just go in like that. And what's really convenient, not all quick connects have this, is that there's an on-off switch right here. So if you're wanting to take that off, you can turn the water flow off at this point instead of having to go all the way back to your hose bib. Perfect. And same thing right here. quick connect, which I'm going to take this apart so I can attach this part to our faucet. Like that. There. All right, let's try this out. Watch this. I'm going to take it all the way over to the garden space. So when you're done, this is how you retract it. You give it a slight tug. I love that so much. Also, the other great thing about this is that, you know, we get really cold here in the wintertime. So we do have to store our hoses, and many of you, I'm sure, have to do the same thing. To store it, I'm not going to take it all the way apart, but you just lift it out and go put it somewhere that doesn't freeze. Like put it in your garage or in a space that, you know, is a little more protected. I love it. I think she's gonna love this. If you've ever contemplated getting one of these, like you see other people using them and you think, well, maybe I should get one for my space, it's absolutely worth it. Huge time saver and really just a huge headache saver when you're not having to monkey with the coiling of hoses and having them catch on things and kink and all of that. Okay, so there's one thing I want to show you that Alyssa has put together that is so cute. In fact, I actually need to pull the hose out to fill it. She put together, like made herself a little fountain in the greenhouse here. But look at this, we can just easily bring our hose over and fill it up. Look at how cute this is. I'm going to give it a little water and then we're going to plug it in. Oh, this is just in a regular plant container. She's got some really cute plants planted around it. Oh, and the sound of that water is awesome. She's just been telling me about how much fun she's having with this space and like really setting it up and moving things around, shifting things a little bit to where it works with the crops that she's planting. And then setting up this fountain. She said that she's on the hunt for the perfect chair for this greenhouse because she really feels like she would sit out here and really enjoy the space and the sound of the water. And oh, I love it. The nectarine tree is doing well. I'm looking at that through the walls of the greenhouse here, and she's got every last square inch of these raised beds planted. We were looking at this the other day and there are nectarines forming up all over this tree. It's going to be loaded. All right, we're done with our hose out here. It also comes in this cream color and in charcoal. We decided to go cream for this space because it looked like it would blend into the siding a little bit better. The charcoal looks really good when placed right out in the middle of flower beds. Anyway, I'm really excited that Alyssa has one of these now. It was kind of the last thing that I knew would make it a lot easier to use this space. You know, everything that we can do to either save time or make things more efficient or make them easier physically on ourselves, I'm all about that. So thank you, Hoselink, for sending that out and for giving one away. Again, you guys, you need to drop a comment below this video on YouTube in order to be entered. Now we are actually, Erin is getting inside the composter because I put it together wrong the other day. We're going to fix that really quick and then we're going to head home and do a little bit of planting. And I'll show you the other Hoselink setups we have when we get home. You fit quite nicely in there. So apparently the door needs to be on the bottom, which makes a whole lot more sense.
You gonna hold screws?
Yes, that's probably what I should only be doing. I shouldn't be putting things together. All of those have to come out, huh? Yeah. Oh man. So this composter has a top lid and that's where you put your stuff in. And then this like door that swings open is supposed to be for the bottom so you can access your compost. And as soon as we're done fixing this, I think we're gonna move this. We can tuck it in to the right of the greenhouse and that way it's not so close to the seating area. Compost isn't supposed to stink, but you never know. You don't really want it this close in proximity to where you're enjoying and, you know, relaxing by a fire. Yeah, I think that'll work out nicely. See how it tucked right back in there? And that way this spot is more free. You know, you can move the fire pit over, get maybe a few more chairs in here. Oh yeah, that turned out super cute. So now it's proper. now the door opens the proper way. And then you put your stuff in right here. I don't know what it is, but I miss steps when I put together things. It's like I blow through the instructions so fast. I read the instructions, like I look through all the pictures and everything. This though, perfect addition out here. All right guys, we are back home. I want to show you 3 other ways that we have mounted our Hoselink, starting with the pipe. This is EMT pipe, which is, I think it stands for, and I could be wrong, but electric metal tube. Electric metallic tube. Thank you, Aaron. It's the conduit that electricians use, and it's 1 inch diameter, and it's really easy to find. So this one, we don't even have set in concrete. It's just a long piece of tube pipe that goes down into the ground, and you can just slide the end of your Hoselink right down in there like that, and that way you can go whichever direction you need to go. And this area is temporary. That's why this works so well. We didn't have to set up a post anywhere. This high tunnel we threw up to house our annuals for projects we're going to be working on over the next several weeks. It's so pretty out here. But this is a super handy way to be able to utilize one of these that makes our life a lot easier. There is a prettier way though that you can install to where it goes 360, and that's where we're going to head next. So this one right here is installed on top of a 4x4 post. Let me take this off so we can show you kind of close up the pieces used. So this is more like plumber's parts. This is a floor flange right here, and then there's a piece of pipe that has threads on both ends. Now, did Paul have to weld this though? Yeah.
But
so
you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to, but he did weld that little washer to the top right there. So anyway, you can pop these on, and this is in the color charcoal, this Hoselink. Oh, come on, there we go. So again, you can go whichever direction you need to. I mean, obviously you can't keep going around and around and around, because then your lead hose will eventually get, you know, twisted around the base. But we can go whichever direction we need to out here. And I actually need to water the Super Beana over here. We haven't run drip to it yet. So that's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be pretty, well, it already is pretty, but it's gonna get prettier. Perfect. Okay, one more stop. In the greenhouse, we have it just attached straight to the wall, which is definitely the easiest way to do it because we didn't have to put a post or a pipe down in the ground. But it's just nice that there are multiple ways to set these up depending on what the situation is. You know, there are other brands out on the market of hose reels that are like kind of similar-ish or are said to be similar to this one, and they're not. We've tried 3 other brands, and I won't mention the brand's name, but we have not been happy with any of those. It's either like the hose diameter isn't quite right, or the hoses kink, or they're too hard to pull, or they retract so fast that you have to be prepared for it and hope nobody's in the way or somebody's gonna get hurt. So anyway, we've been very happy with the Hoselink hose reels. All right guys, now we are gonna do some planting. We've got a couple of lilacs. These are the President Lincoln. I've already got one out in the garden and I think it is in bloom right now, but I kind of wanted to add a couple more because I just love them. And if I don't plant them now, I won't be able to get my hands on them later. And then if we have time, I've got a whole bunch of Snapdragons to put in the cut flower garden. There are 360 right here. So many. So let's head out. It's right here. Oh, now clearly we haven't mulched yet. But this is the President Lincoln that we put in last year. We didn't get to see blooms on it last year, so I'm thrilled to see a few this year. Ugh, they smell so good. They've got a really strong fragrance. But this variety, I think it gets like 10 to 12 feet tall and wide. And I want to train them up to be more tree form, so we will prune stuff, you know, out from underneath and let it just be a canopy on the top, kind of like some of our other lilacs that we have around here. So my thought initially was to add the other 2 to this area so we could kind of have a grouping, but I'm just gonna think about that for just a second because I do wanna make sure we have plenty of evergreen interest out here as well. Our spruce back here will get, I don't know, 15 to 20 feet wide. So, you know, at least out to about here. And boy, I could put a couple more right in here. We were thinking of putting another great big spruce right here. The prairie fire crabapple is looking glorious. Look at the color on that tree. Oh my goodness. It's So pretty. I also want to make sure that I don't have too much of the same texture close together. Sometimes that's awesome, but I do want it to look fairly varied out here. You know, I want to make sure that there's blue evergreen and red leaves along with green, and then we've got the yellow twig dogwoods out here, which I think bring a beautiful color too. Looking through here, knowing that that lilac is going to be a big, beautiful form structure right there, I think that's going to be awesome. I think I'm just going to grab the shrubs and set them around. I'm going to mess with it for a little bit, and then we'll get them in the ground. I don't know if they'll even end up over here or not. I think this is going to be so pretty, you guys. I just added the two right next to the first one to create maybe a little bit of an arc, and I might even add one more. So as you're walking down the pathway underneath the arbor, then you will be met by this beautiful sweeping arc of lilac. So I'm thinking maybe one more. And they're just about, I stepped it off. They're roughly the same width apart from each other, and also the same width away from the sidewalk, or the walkway rather. I know it's a little bit deceiving, but yeah, they're just gonna follow kind of the curvature of the pathway. And then I'm hopeful that one day, you know, they'll be 10 feet tall and we'll have them all pruned up to where you can kind of see beyond, but it'll still feel like it's a room in here. Also, if we get one more in here, then we could maybe like center a bench between the four of them, just right off the pathway. It'd be a really pretty area to sit, and then, you know, one day when this has got more stuff in it, it'll be really pretty view across the walkway. And the best part about this type of lilac is that they thrive in our high desert, high pH climate. They actually prefer high pH soil and more alkaline soil, which is what we can give them. So we don't have to worry about fussing with the soil around them or hitting them with a lot of soil amendments. They don't show any kind of iron deficiency like some things do when it's high pH. They're just a really nice plant to have. Now we're gonna tackle these. So here in the annual section of our cut flower garden, we don't have a lot going on yet. I have planted our Lisianthus out up there. These are perennial lilies that I'm gonna be moving out. I might even be moving these out into the landscape, I'm not sure, but I just thought I would let them bloom and then we'll move them. I planted a bunch of stock out here yesterday. About half a row is what we ended up with, which is about perfect. Our ranunculus over here are doing really well. They're putting on quite a lot of growth. I can't wait until the grass pathway is filled in a little bit better. Same with our anemones right here. We also have not top dressed with any of our compost yet, so I'm really looking forward to getting this area buttoned up. We've got a completely free row right here. And we've got plenty of Snapdragons to get us all the way. We're gonna be spacing them out about 6 inches. We'll be doing 3 rows. So, you know, one in between the two runs of drip tape and one on the outsides. Should be perfect. I need to straighten out the drip tape though. This is what it does. It gets all squirrely. Looks like we have remnants of last year's crop out here. Oh my. I might need to do a little clean out before I plant. This is where they're going right here. We have one 60-foot row completely empty. I might need to do a little bit of cleanup here, not much though. I'm gonna do 3 rows, so it'll be 180 feet altogether. 1 row on the outside of the drip tape, 1 in between, and 1 on the other side. Our drip tape has emitter holes every 6 inches, which works out perfectly because you can space these anywhere between 4 and 12 inches apart. And I like to plant the plant right at an emitter, and that way I know we're getting targeted water, and it just works out really well that way. I think we're gonna have some extra. I don't think we're gonna be able to fit them all in 1 row, but honestly, as much as I do use Snapdragons quite a lot, but I probably don't even need 1 full row of them. It's just that they're so easy to grow and they're so productive. I do not use any trellising. I don't use that Hortonova netting. I just let them grow. They are what's called geotropic, which is the plant's response to Earth's gravity. And so they'll send out sometimes stems that are flat because, you know, if you don't trellis them, some of them will go straight up, but some of them will kind of grow out to the side. So they'll start growing out to the side and then they'll start bending up to grow upwards. So you get a nice bent stem, which may not be desirable in like selling flower stems, I guess, but I love them for arranging because they make for really beautiful, graceful arching stems downward out of the sides of a vase. I like to do that so that not everything is straight up. But you can see we still haven't moved any mulch into this area at all yet. You know, the cut rose garden is done. We've mulched part of the perennial section, but the dahlias in this section haven't seen much activity in that way. But it's almost kind of nice to get everything planted, make a mess with the auger, and then we can come in and top dress and make everything look nice and tidy. I have planted, you know, the ranunculus. They are putting on growth. I know they don't look like much, but they have grown quite a lot in the anemones as well. And then I did plant stock out here yesterday, about half a row's worth, which is perfect. I do have a bunch of perennial lilies in here, which I will be moving after they are done blooming. And then I've got a bunch of stuff that seeded itself, a bunch of larkspur in here that I'm just gonna let it grow until it's in our way. And then I might just leave it if we end up with space. And I planted honeywort over here. So that's this little section. And then some Lisianthus in this area. Let's run through the varieties we have. Madame Butterfly Red, Orleans Early Lemon Yellow, Apple Blossom, one of my favorites, Bridal Pink, Potomac Ivory, Potomac Lavender, Madame Butterfly Ivory, Madame Butterfly Bronze with White, Potomac Yellow, and Potomac Orange. I'm going to use the auger to dig all of our holes. I'm going to go through with Biotone and sprinkle that in the holes. Then we'll go through and plant. Well, we have some kind of weather moving in. It's getting a little blustery. We are supposed to get a little bit of rain at some point today. I hope we do. I did go ahead and water in all these Snapdragons. I usually water everything in the initial time and then we just start in with our drip system. I just like to do it with a hose just to make sure that everything's settled. If I happen to miss a couple, I usually can spot that when I'm watering them initially, but we had the exact amount of Snapdragons to fill up this row. I mean, I did my math when I was planting the seeds, but I usually never quite get there. Look at this. One entire row of Snapdragons. I did not have to go over into another row. I don't have any to find a home for. That's fairly amazing. They should be able to handle this wind. I've been keeping them outside the greenhouse the last few days, and it's been pretty windy few days, and we've been getting temperatures in the low 40s at night, and we're gonna get that for the next couple of nights, which shouldn't hurt them at all. But they've been sitting out there and have not been damaged at all. They just haven't even skipped a beat. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing these fill in this whole area. I'm always looking forward to it filling in, and it always feels like it happens, you know, all at once. We're going to plant all the seedlings out here, but I'm always excited to see, you know, the mulch go down and have things look tidied up and cleaned up from the winter. And you guys, that is going to do it for today's projects. A little bit of everything. Thank you again, Hoselink, for partnering with us on today's video and sending out the Hoselink for Alyssa's garden. I think she's going to absolutely love it. And for another reminder, you guys, remember to leave a comment below this video to be entered to win a Hoselink. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.